It made other men feel, I'm hoping, like, what is this about? Like, this is, it's good.
I've heard that sometimes he would spend more time at WNBA games now than he would at the Lakers games. True? Is that
Well,
true?
it's true, but I think it's also because Gigi wanted to see certain players and she was into it. And he talked about just, I remember seeing him, he was like, Lise, like, she got it. She got it. He was just like, she got it.
It's tough, Lisa, looking at the pictures of him and Gigi together playing basketball, sitting on the sidelines. It really does take your heart and rip it out when I see those pictures.
Yes. We know what Kobe's accomplished, but Gigi she didn't have the full opportunity to do that because you just know that she had the mentality. Mambacita was going to make it. She was going to be in the WNBA.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time, Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible. I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, with the cases, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify, so it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
It is interesting to me how deeply his death has affected so many different types of people. Why do you think people are so deeply affected, in many cases by a man they did not know?
I really think.
Hey, what's going on, people? Shemaine, man, everything by John. And, wow. I just wanted to chime in real quick on this whole Gayle King, Kobe situation. It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. I mean, when you talk about what she said, bringing up this man's name in that way, after we obviously see he's passed, what he meant for our community and just the world community, such a global influence, and all these other things I said in these previous videos. And this woman, Gayle King, is gonna come up here. She interviewed another WNBA legend, Lisa Leslie. And she brought up some very, very disrespectful, distasteful, unnecessary, bad timing comments and questions. And then she tried to roll back into it, try to, step back and say, oh, well, it was just the interview, it was the network that brought up these comments, and they put this specific clip out there, and it was out of context. But you are the one that asks those questions, first of all. See, that's what people like to do. People love to play the game. When it blows up in their face, you say, oh, they blame the next person or the puppeteers above them. They blame them. It's ridiculous. And oh, man, shout out to the trucking consultants, man. I mean, we had a deep conversation the other day, and I was kind of explaining that, when it comes to these industries, man, like the music and entertainment and sports, and when we talk about these different ritualistic things happening and been happening and things like that, these are things. I'm 26. I've been I've been knowing and hearing about these type of things since I was like 12 or 13. So when it comes to ideologies of people saying, oh, well, once you get into these industries, they first of all, you got these puppeteers over your head like you're a puppet. You know, they're controlling your every move, your every action, right? And shout out to my history professor in Medgar Evers College. I forgot your name, but I'll put you down below. But he put a quote on the board yesterday, actually in class, by W. Du Bois, the legend. And W. Du Bois said, once you control a man's brains and his thoughts, once you control one's thoughts, you don't have to worry about their actions. You see how deep that is? Once you control someone, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry because you're controlling them. Everything you do and say is going right through that and become a protocol. So that's where Gayle King is at. She got the puppeteers over her head. And this is the industry. This is the business. But say that to say, she's still black. This is our people. How you do that? This man is past. He's not even in the ground yet, like Boosie said. He's not even in the ground yet. Man. And they always say, with these celebrities, with these entertainers, they always hang something over your head so that if you retire or if you're away from the game or if you pass or this or that, they still have something negative to say about you. And look at this. We gave Kobe the flowers and now people are giving him dead flowers. You just saw the clip. Gayle King is bringing up the rape case. This man was dismissed. This man's case was dismissed. Why? Why? Because there was no case. Why? The accuser dropped the case. She dropped out. She's like dropping out of high school. Why? Why? Because they found all type of things in her panties, in her undergarments, remains of other people. You know what that means already? She had no case. If she would have went further, all of this would have came out. Sorry for the sirens out there. That's New York, baby. You know what I mean? But oh my goodness. And shout out to Lisa Leslie for being as frank and as smooth as she could be. She's a real one. And when you compare those two, you see who's a sellout and you see who's the buyout. If you know what I'm saying. Gayle King. And this is not the first. And it won't be the last. You with Oprah all the time, right? But y'all never talk about Harvey Weinstein. And what's the excuse behind that? Because he's on trial right now in New York? That's why y'all not talking about it? But he's been doing all of these things, groping women, raping women, molesting, and taking all of these things away from women, young girls, maybe young boys too. For all of these years, but now you don't want to talk about it because because he has his trial going on? But you're quick to go back in the black community and take one of our legends, man. One of our people with so many core values, and talk about this man like that after he just passed. And you couldn't ask him none of these questions when he was alive. And we already did, and it was already cleared up. Our own people. But guess what? I guess the color is not everything, right? We know that. Just because you brown or black, it doesn't mean you're really brown or black, right? Obviously, right? Man, it's so tough, man. It's hard to see stuff like that, man. It's hard. But anyway, I just had to chime in. JDBK Assets, everything about John. Contact info is below. I just want to chime in. Y'all enjoy y'all Friday. Enjoy y'all weekend. Stay powerful and stay safe out there.